think I actually started making the choices for my kids many years before I met them, because I wanted to, it was important for me to, at a certain point, once I got off the television series, which was good for me in a lot of ways, and I salute them, but it was also very frustrating creatively. You know, it's not a very, it's not a very creative atmosphere. You know, it's kind of rigid parameters. So once I got off the series and I started making these movies, I swore to myself that I would just do the things that I could be hopefully proud of one day, or that my kids could be proud.
And one thing I don't think a lot of people realize is that Nick Cage was kind of the person that said, hey, you know, you should get into acting.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Came about because I was devastatingly unemployed at the time. I had been selling ink pens over the telephone. That was my job. And the band was, you know, we were averaging about $25 a week per person, which was not enough.
No.
And I remember I was walking down the street, down Melrose one day, and I was filling out job applications, and Nick and I got together, and he said, you know, I think you should meet my agent. I think you should be an actor. I think maybe you are an actor and you just don't know it, roughly. And so I met his agent, and she sent me to meet a casting director. I read for her. She brought me back to read for the director, which was Wes Craven, and they gave me the job. You know, they gave me the gig, and it's funny because the character that was described in the script was nothing like me. It was sort of a jock guy,
yeah.
You know, sort of big, handsome, blonde, you know, jock guy, and I was just sort of skinny, you know, guitar player with tattoos and spiky hair.
Yeah.
But they gave me the gig. You know, the sort of romantic kind of lead sort of thing, you know, sort of actor. I just never thought I'd be any good at it, you know. I mean, there are guys out there who do that and do it well, really well. So I thought there, you know, there was, that was all covered by other people, and I always wanted to I just wanted to be sort of a character actor. I aspired to be a character actor, and so I just, you know, I wanted to play characters, and it's always nice to be able to, to not hide behind a character, but to try your best to become that character as much as humanly possible. Well, I still play, you know. I still play, and it's still, you know, essentially my first love, you know. It's what I started playing at 12, and I still love it. I play every day. But in terms of doing it professionally or anything anymore, no, it's over with. But I still, you know, if I got a buddy who's doing a record and he wants me to play, I'll do that. Or if somebody wants, you know, to play a live gig, I've done that too, and that's all fun.
Right. So it's
just
recreational.
Really recreational. I started thinking of pirates, you know, of the 18th century, and what they were, or what they might have been, or been like, you know. And I thought they're sort of the rock and roll stars of the 18th century, you know. And I mean, the coolest rock and roll star, greatest rock and roll star of all time to me, hands down, is Keith Richards. Yeah. So I kind of, it wasn't in any way like an imitation of Keith or anything like that, but it was, or a character study. It was just the way that he carries himself. There's a beautiful sort of elegance and confidence and wisdom that he has that I thought would be useful.
Do you still remember the first day that you met your wife?
Oh, I mean, the first time I met her was a few years before we got together. But the first time I saw her after that was when I was doing the film in Paris with Polanski. And I just remember seeing this, it was the lobby of this sort of restaurant, and I remember seeing this back across the room, and then suddenly the back turned and looked at me, and then walked towards me, and then it was over with at that point.
Love at first sight.
Kind of deal, you know. Yeah. I knew I was in big trouble. I went over to France to do a movie, and, you know, I just thought I was do this movie for 3, 4, 5, 6 months and come back and do whatever. I went over there, I fell in love. A few months later, my girl was pregnant, and you know, the moment that it was clear we were going to be having a baby, I just thought, you know, the way the air felt in the States, just this sort of, at that time, was kind of, there was just a violence, you know, just under the surface that seemed, yeah, frightening, you know, with regard to raising children. Yes. So I thought, well, I'll find a house and just raise my kid over here, you know, in Europe, and it worked out well, you know, it worked out really well.